So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. And in today's video, we have the Dallas Mavericks. After what a lot of people would consider maybe intentional tanking to wrap up the 2023 season, this Dallas team came back with a new identity, a new focus, and a new game plan. Of course, throughout the 2023-24 regular season, ended up going 50-32. That was the 5 seed in a very talented Western Conference. And then, of course, made it all the way to the NBA Finals. So this Dallas team is absolutely incredible. We all knew what the team they ran into. With the Celtics, were just a little too good for them, honestly. And they might have been a little too good for anybody. So I commend Dallas on an absolutely fantastic season. And I really commend them on not standing pat this offseason, because so many times we find these teams and these organizations that make it all the way to the NBA Finals, and they say, hey, we're good enough. We're right there. We're not really going to do anything in the offseason. Dallas did not take that route. We're going to talk about that roster and all these changes in just a minute, but I am very excited to use Luka in this rebuild today. Of course, our end goal today, as it always is, to bring a championship to the team we are rebuilding. Dallas fans, I hope I can do that for you here today. Let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comment section. Of course, my lofty, goal of completing all 30 NBA teams before, the actual season tips off on October 22nd is well on track. I'll say that. So, I know we've been doing a lot of good teams per se, so I am excited to get into maybe some of the more bad teams, more challenging ones very shortly. So let me know which ones you want me to do. Let's do this one today. Excited for it. Let's get into it. As we discussed a little bit in the intro, I am always a very big fan, and I think it really is the right way to approach things when you get that close to winning a championship, but you just know you're not quite there, and not standing pat. Not just bringing everybody back just to say, hey, we're legitimately as close as you can get without winning the whole thing. And obviously Dallas did not do that. So let's go ahead and talk about this roster as a whole, how I think the new additions will fit with this group, and why I think Dallas is going to be very, very good again. Once again, that's a lot of agains. All right, starting here at the point guard spot, Luka Doncic. We all obviously know how incredible he is. He is basically an MVP, esque player every single season. Has yet to win one, but I am assuming that is going to happen very, very shortly, if not next season. So he's at a 97 overall. He is one of the best 3 players in the world, in my opinion. And I'm going to be building around him here today. There's not too much else to say about him. So they did end up bringing back Spencer Dinwiddie on a 1-year deal. And he's, certainly not my favorite backup point guard, but he is a decent enough option for now. 22-year-old Jaden Hardy, maybe a little bit more room to grow than Mr. Dinwiddie. So he'll probably be getting the minutes at the backup point guard spot here in year 1. We move over to the shooting guard spot. Kyrie Irving, of course, has just been a real seamless fit with Luka in this Dallas team as a whole. Kyrie's, history maybe isn't the greatest since departing Cleveland, and he's found a home here in Dallas, and I really commend him for that. I'm very happy to see that, he's working out. And he honestly didn't have the greatest finals in the world. He struggles for some reason when he goes back to Boston. I don't know if it's the booing. I don't know what it is, but he didn't look great against the Celtics, to be honest with you. So, I think he's going to come back even stronger. He is obviously one of the most skilled players in the history of basketball, but there's pretty much a 0% chance he goes anywhere here today. Now, Klay Thompson, let's talk about it. Klay Thompson, of course, finally, I don't want to say finally, I guess eventually, maybe everybody thought he was going to depart the Dallas Mavericks, the Golden State Warriors, ends up landing with Dallas in a sign-in trade, and he is here. And, we don't really know what version of Klay Thompson we're going to get. I don't think we're going to be turning back the clock 7 or 8 years, but if he can be a floor spacer and a spot-up shooter for this team, that's a really, really good addition for them, because that is one of the things that absolutely killed them in the finals. So, Klay obviously has, championship experience. He's 34 years old, and he is still a really good shooter. So, I'm excited to see what they do with Klay. Here today, we're probably going to start him at that small forward spot. Again, I don't know if that's the best idea in the world, but it's probably what they're going to do in real life anyways. Quentin Grimes is here, came over to trade with the Detroit Pistons that sent out Tim Hardaway Jr. He is only 24 years old, and again, at that young age, I would like to develop him as much as possible. Got AJ Lawson here as well. Probably not going to see a ton of minutes today. He is on a 3-year contract, but just given the depth ahead of him, probably not going to see the floor a ton. The small forward spot, Dante Exum is the one and only listed small forward right now. Of course, we will likely be moving Klay Thompson there very shortly. We head to the power forward spot. PJ Washington, of course, was a mid-season acquisition for them last season in a deal with the Charlotte Hornets, and he has been a seamless fit with this team. We'll talk about another seamless fit at the center spot in just a minute, but my God, it just felt like PJ Washington was one of the keys that really just unlocked this team, and Luka as a whole as well. Not that, Luka wasn't incredible already. You get my point. You got Najee Marshall here. He is maybe, the Derrick Jones Jr. replacement. Ended up bringing him in on a 3-year, $27 million deal, and again, it's just nice role players that I think can be, competent would be the right word. So I do think he is a nice rotation piece for this team. He's not going to be a star or anything like that, but it is a good replacement. Still got Maxi Kleber here, and of course you got Omax down here as well. Not sure where his spot's going to be on this team. Only 22, and again, I do think there's a little bit of potential in there, so we'll figure that out. And then the center spot. This is going to be an interesting one for me because we talk about seamless fits. Adding Daniel Gafford from the Washington Wizards last year, him and PJ Washington just, again, completely changed like the dynamic of this team and really the way their offense kind of functioned as a whole. So, really anybody over Dwight Powell, if I'm being honest with you. But no, Gafford has been unbelievably great for this team. He is everything I think Luka kind of needs in a center. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I will say it's tough having two 81 overalls because I'm a big Derek Lively fan, and I think he's going to be really good for a really long time. So I don't know who I'm going to start. Of course, Gafford did start a lot of games for this team, and it does make sense, but I love Derek Lively. I really do. So we'll keep an eye on that, and of course, you got Dwight Powell here as well. So that is the team. It is a very talented roster. We may have one or two moves. I don't really anticipate anything too crazy, though. Pretty decent trade to kick off this rebuild. We're sending out Spencer Dinwiddie and Dante Exum, trading them to the Memphis Grizzlies for Vince Williams Jr. and John Conchar. Now, Vince Williams Jr. Is a nice, maybe slight upgrade at our backup small forward spot, but more importantly, neither of the players we're acquiring are on one-year expiring deals. So, Conchar probably not going to play, but neither was Dinwiddie. And then again, a one-for-one swap basically with Exum and Vince Williams Jr. Is something I'm probably doing pretty much 10 times out of 10. So, a little surprised it was that kind of easy, but that's actually going to be our one and only trade. We will keep an eye on some of the contract situations, but Luka's obviously going to start. I did say I wanted Jaden Hardy to play the backup one guard. Kyrie and then Quentin Grimes also on a one-year deal. So both of our backup guards will be expiring, but we will certainly keep an eye on that, Ken, because they're relatively young. Move Klay Thompson to the small forward spot. He goes up to an 83 overall. We just brought in Vince Williams Jr. Power forward spot's going to be Washington and Marshall, and then rounding out the center spot, Gafford and Lively. So here's my thought process on this. I'm probably going to be starting Daniel Gafford here in year one. I think it's a safe bet, though, but by year two, it's probably going to be the Lively show here in Dallas. So that's just kind of the way I'm going about it right now, and hopefully it works out. So let's set that rotation. The first season is officially upon us here in Dallas. Of course, 1 through 5, there were really no changes. I am assuming that this will be very close to, if not exactly, what the Dallas Mavericks lineup is going to look like here on opening night. So it is Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gafford. Bench unit will be led by Derek Lively again. It's not something I typically do, having, I guess, quote-unquote, big men be sixth men. I don't know why. I'm just not really, a big fan of that. But again, just with the way this team's set up, especially the bench unit, D-Live will be my backup center and my sixth man. Vince Williams Jr. was a new acquisition from us here in the video. Najee Marshall is going to be my backup 4, Quentin Grimes, and then Jaden Hardy. So yeah, it's a good team. There's a little bit better depth than what they had last year, and of course the starting 5 a little bit better as well. So excited to see what this team can do. I have very high hopes because we only got better and we won a very talented West last year. So here goes nothing. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. It's only been a few days since my last rebuild, but I did kind of forget how much 2K loves the Dallas Mavericks. Not only does Luka Doncic win his first career MVP, but we go 63-19, assuming that puts us in the driver's seat here in the Western Conference. So, yeah, I'm very happy. Pretty good numbers all across the board from Luka Doncic, Reza Shea, your Rookie of the Year, Amen Thompson, Victor Wembanyama. One time, I'm going to try to guess this here in year one, because it's pretty much always the same thing. And cool to see our head coach, Mr. Jason Kidd, taking home Coach of the Year. So, we are the 1 seed. Of course, very, very good start to year one here in this rebuild. We are 4 games up on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Maybe they're interested in running back the West Finals. Here's a look at the Eastern Conference. Let's go over some of the numbers real quick. All across the board, Luka led us in scoring. He probably led us in everything, to be honest. But it was Luka, Kyrie, Klay Thompson here, really emerging as a nice kind of third scoring option for this group. PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Lively, Hardy, you guys, can see. So there's that. Rebounds led by Luka, and assists, you guessed it, Luka Doncic. Okay, round 1. It is us and the Phoenix Suns. Wow, Luka versus Devin Booker, Luka versus the Suns, of course. A little bit of history here. It is a very, very fun matchup every single time, but Suns are good. They got Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant. Talented playing team, let me say that. Okay, quick 2-0 lead for us here in the first round. We go up 3-0, and I guess we're just running them out of their own building as a sweep occurs. And now we have Luka versus Jokic here in the playoffs. That, my friends, would be very, very fun to watch. Russell Westbrook's actually starting for this team. They're playing Jamal Murray at the 2 guard. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. You got Nikola Jokic. Brown coming off the bench with Dario Saric. Okay, interesting. I'm assuming Russ will actually be a 6-man for them in real life, but here, 2K has different ideas. We do finally lose 2 playoff games. Wow. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, wow, we win. So we won, first 2, then lost 3, then won the next 2. Oh, boy. All right, we are running back the Western Conference Finals from a year ago. Of course, Anthony Edwards is incredibly talented. This Minnesota team as a whole has a really strong defensive identity. And, yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, there's really no denying that. So let's see if we can have the same result as last year. We lose the first 2 on our home. Oh my God. Isn't this exactly the opposite of what happened last year? Didn't Dallas go up 3-0 and win the first two on Minnesota's home floor? I think so. We end up getting swept, which is an absolute disaster, to say it nicely, I guess. So let's just take a look at the numbers from that conference finals series. Oh boy. Yeah, this is bad. Oh my God. Luka was about 39% from the field. He's about 27% from three. So, of course, he's not the only one that was pretty bad. And he only, he was pretty good in the rebounds and assist department. But, oh man, Kyrie was bad. Clay wasn't great. And everybody else just kind of fell in line in terms of being ass. So, yeah, man, that is not a good end to the Western Conference Finals. And, Minnesota goes on to win it all, and Anthony Edwards, your finals MVP. Okay, well, good, great first regular season. Of course, I would say it was a relatively successful playoff run considering our expectations, but it is what it is. Now, something I do need to keep an eye on, because I have seen it, from time to time throughout these rebuilds, is Klay Thompson, because there is certainly a possibility that he does retire. So let's just see. Did Klay Thompson retire? Okay, he did not. It does not appear so anyway. So Klay Thompson did not retire. LeBron James does call it a career, though. Same with Kyle Lowry, Mike Conley, Eric Gordon. Man, a lot of names here. Hall of Fame inductees LeBron and Russ, jersey retirements, and then draft lottery. I do not think the Dallas Mavericks have traded for anything that could be lottery, potentially. So there is your top five right there. We'll take a look at staff signing. Jason Kidd, pretty good head coach, has some really solid ratings here, so we'll hang on to him. And as we head up to the 2025 NBA draft, I'm not exactly sure what our pick situation's looking like. It's not great. It is a little bleak. I'm not going to lie to you. We do have the last pick. We have the, I guess, Mr. Irrelevant draft pick, if you will. I'm stealing something from the NFL there. But I believe what should be the case anyways is that New York has our first. And they do. It's at number 29. Of course, we remember, as I talked about a little bit in the intro, Dallas kind of intentionally, per se, tanking at the end of the 23 season. Of course, that means their lottery pick was, kept by them. And then they went ahead and drafted Derek Lively. So I guess, things kind of work out in the end. But, New York going to take our first round pick this year. I'm probably not going to draft somebody at, Mr. Irrelevant, but nobody's going to want this. So, sure, why not? Let's see who's available here at the end of the second round. Nick Clifford. He is the only guy that is not, in the D rating. So, sure, welcome to the team. 6'6", 200 pounds out of Colorado State. Welcome to the team. 68 overall. I'm good. Okay, so Kyrie Irving, of course, is going to be, probably our biggest priority this offseason. Derek Lively coming back on the 2-year team. Shocker, Dwight Powell picks up his player option. Then we will bring back Omax as well. Quentin Grimes, I will qualify. Same with Jaden Hardy. I'm not exactly sure the price tag both these guys will be looking at, but my first and obviously largest priority here is Mr. Kyrie Irving. Wow, looks like the Nets are interested and the Celtics are bringing him back, or interested anyways, but it's at about 50 some odd million a year, so yeah, let's just pay Kyrie. That's a max it lets me give him. I'm not trading Kyrie, so please accept that. All right, after this, we will offer Quentin Grimes a little bit of money. Same with Jaden Hardy. They both want about 5-ish annually. And I think that's it for in terms of major free agents. We kind of intentionally set it up so we didn't have a lot of guys that could depart, but obviously excited to have Kyrie back. I think it is time for a couple trades. Blockbuster trade is going down. Now, I want to make it evidently clear why we are doing this. Klay Thompson was really solid in his one and only season 4 here with us in Dallas. Of course, this is not a realistic rebuild as well. I'm sure you're all very much aware of that. And I am just making a move because I am embracing for the inevitable that Klay Thompson is going to retire. And it is likely going to be after this season. And even if he does not, the regression is going to be so bad that I would basically be shooting myself in the foot. So I guess you can blame 2K for this. You can blame whoever you want, but I'm not going to intentionally tank this rebuild out of some misguided loyalty to Klay Thompson. So we are landing a very good player here in Lauri Markkanen. We're also trading out Daniel Gafford, who is an expiring deal. And although I think he could still be really important, I talked about it a little bit before we kicked off year 1. I am a very big fan of Derek Lively, and I want him to get some playing time. So this is the deal. Of course, we're kind of making do with what we got, considering we don't have a lot of draft picks to trade, but it is a blockbuster. Take it in once and all. And yeah, I'm very excited about having Lauri Markkanen here. And we're also getting Keontae George in this deal. So looks like a pretty good deal to me. I think it is a nice upgrade with this team. If you would, take Klay Thompson over Lauri Markkanen in 2025, you're kind of crazy. But we have, I guess, a little bit of a new direction here with this starting 5, and one that I am very excited about. So I think we may have 1 or 2 more trades. We got to reload a little bit in the draft pick department. Of course, there's not a lot that we have to work with right now, and although we don't really need the picks at the moment, we very well may need them next year, especially if we don't win a championship. So, Omax and AJ Lawson were just unfortunately not going to play for this team once again next season. There's just not really a spot for them, and the San Antonio Spurs are willing to give me 2 first-round picks via the Atlanta Hawks. So, I'm pretty happy about that. We take a look at this team. I am going to hang on to Jaden Hardy. It's unfortunate that he's now probably fallen out of the rotation a little bit with the addition of Keontae George, but it kind of is what it is, I guess, at this point. So what I do need to do is find myself a new backup center. Looking at the options here, there's not a lot of elite ones. My GOAT, Luke, 7 foot for nothing, Cornette. I do see Kevon Looney here. Could bring in another, I guess, maybe washed up warrior, if you will. Jock Lawndale is certainly here. I mean, they're both 27. I don't know. It says Looney fits the system a little bit more. He obviously has championship experience as well. Why the hell not? All right, man. We are all set. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. Last year, we had a really strong regular season. Of course, we went into the playoffs with very high expectations, made it all the way to the West Finals, ran it back with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then got our teeth kicked in. That is, of course, not acceptable. So this offseason, we made a couple changes. Of course, still have our unbelievably dynamic backcourt of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. We did bring in Lauri Markkanen to be a Klay Thompson replacement. PJ Washington is somebody I'll keep an eye on, because although I am a big fan, and I think he fits this team well, we're weirdly seeing a little bit of regression, which I'm, of course, not a fan of. Nice to see Derek Lively now in the starting lineup again. I'm a big fan. I'm not going to keep saying it, but you guys know me, you know him, and I think it makes sense. We brought in Keontae George in that Markkanen deal as well. He looks like he is a seamless sixth-man fit for us, as he is up to an 82 overall. We still have Vince Williams Jr., Quentin Grimes, Kevon Looney, and Najee Marshall. So, I'm pretty happy with the moves we made. Of course, it is maybe a little bit disappointing for me to trade Klay Thompson after one season, but ultimately, as I mentioned, I'm not intentionally shooting myself in the foot in this video. So, I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. We were pretty good. You want to know how good? We were the best ever, actually, statistically. We go 74-8, which I did not think was in the realm of possibility. We talked a little bit about how much I know 2K loves Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks, and they are certainly showing us that love right now. But of course, it doesn't mean a damn thing without a championship. Luka wins his second straight MVP. Cooper Flagg, a member of the Washington Wizards, your Rookie of the Year. Men Thompson, once again, sixth man. Wemby, once again, Depoy. Alex Sarr, most improved. SGA, Clutch Player of the Year. And Jason Kidd, back-to-back Coaches of the Year. So hopefully he can now be a championship-winning head coach. That would be cool. We win the West by 16 games ahead of the 2-seed Oklahoma City Thunder. And here's a look at the, I guess dreadful would be the right term, Eastern Conference. Okay. Let's dive into some numbers real quick. Points per game led by Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Lauri Markkanen, kind of filling out a similar, points per game at least to what Klay Thompson did for us. So, replacing, one-third option with another. Of course, Lauri maybe a little bit more reliable at age 28, I would say. Keontae George was fantastic off the bench in 20 minutes a night as the sixth man. You got Derek Lively, PJ Washington, Quentin Grimes, Vince Williams Jr., Najee Marshall, and Kevon Looney. Rebounds per game led by Derek Lively, and assists was Luka Doncic. So, first round, us and the Portland Trailblazers. Trailblazers obviously going through a rebuild. This is not my favorite front court in the world in terms of spacing, but this should be a pretty easy, 4 or 5 game series. So it is 4. We now move on, and it is us and the Timberwolves. Of course, we won, back in 2024 or 24. Yeah, no, 24. They won in 25. Now here in 26. Oh my God, they added Kawhi Leonard. Holy shit. Oh my God. Okay, I did not mean to do that. That is a little terrifying. I am not going to lie to you. The thought of Kawhi and Anthony Edwards on the same team when we're just kicking the living shit out of them right now, and we win in 5. Okay, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Of course, I've talked a little bit about how I don't really see them as much here in 2K25 as I did in 2K24, but they are still incredibly talented when I do see them. So we quickly go up 2-0. They win Game 3. We win Game 4, and we are back in the NBA Finals, taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers, led by, of course, Mr. Donovan Mitchell. So, yeah, this group added Miles Turner somehow. Not really sure how they were able to swing that. Marvin Bagley's here. Caleb Martin is here. Okay, good depth there in Cleveland. Of course, very talented 1 through 5, but as you can see, it just looks like we're a lot better. So as we head back to Cleveland for game number 4, and we are on the verge of sweeping the Cleveland Cavaliers, which is, of course, would be fantastic. So it looks like we have a relatively close game. Maybe not. Look at that fourth quarter. I'll see you in there. 12-point lead for us here. Game 4 of the NBA Finals. We are feeling pretty good right now. I'm noticing immediately that Luka's not in the game. As good as Keontae George is, that's going to have to change. That had to be a 5-second violation. There's just no way. I would like to get Luka in this game right now because it is not really a big purpose. There's no way that's going on. I'm taking a timeout. I want to get Luka in the fucking game. There's no reason that Luka would not be in a situation like this right now. So let's just do that. Let's put the back-to-back MVP in here, and hopefully we can go ahead, close this thing out, not really have to stress about it too much. And Luka's got 18, 10, and 9 on the night, 1 assist away from a triple-double. Not a ton of points by Luka standards, but pretty good game for our superstar. Luka just going to work it in. That was way too easy, I guess, for, lack of a better term. And now we are up 14. So I guess we can kind of chat about the actual Dallas Mavericks right now. Of course, they were just so good. It seemed like their team just clicked at the right point last year. Of course, only a 5 seed in the West. And, 5 seed in the West is like, I'd say maybe say that's similar to like a 3 seed in the East, just because the West is obviously much better than the East. But this is a team that, found the pieces that fit next to their superstar. And I commend teams for doing that, because there's a lot of idiot franchises out there that just try to throw shit together and hope it kind of sticks. And of course, Dallas went a little bit of a different direction, right? They went in the direction of getting guys that could play next to their stars. So I'm excited about this team next season. I love the additions that they've made. I do think it kind of sucks to lose Derrick Jones Jr. I did like what he provided to this group. Of course, he departed to sign with the Los Angeles Clippers, but I think it's going to be, another really strong season for Dallas, and I fully expect them to be in the mix in a loaded West, an absolutely loaded West. So I'm excited about it, man. I think Luka is probably going to be in the driver's seat for MVP this season, especially if he can be like a top 3 or 4 seed. I am not sure what kind of defense Cleveland is playing right now, but I guess thanks very much for coming. We have swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. Luka Doncic getting that Finals MVP. It is a championship here for in year 2 in Dallas. All right, player retirements. Wow, Steph Curry calling it a career. This, by the way, is why I did what I did, because I knew this was coming. All right, staff retirements. Eric Spoelstra. Wow, I feel like I never see that. Hall of Fame inductees, Mr. Steph Curry. Klay Thompson's going to be a Hall of Famer, whether you like it or not. But no, weird to see the Splash Brothers going out at the same time. Let's sim through this real quick. Oh, good. Give the Thunder the #1 overall pick. I'm going to go ahead and bring back Jason Kidd. He's obviously done a really good job with us so far, and I'd like to keep him on as the guy. Okay, let's head up to the draft. I believe we do have our first this year. We do. It's at number 20, or excuse me, Spurs is at 27. We also have number 30 here. All right, maybe there's a slight upgrade I want to make. Last season, we saw a little bit of regression with Najee Marshall, and although I'm not super worried about it, if we can make a little bit of an upgrade here at our backup power forward spot, I'd certainly be willing to do so. So we're going to be picking up Jonathan Isaac here. He's now a member of the Los Angeles Clippers. We're sending out Najee Marshall, pick 27 and 30 from, Isaac, and pick 25. So I'll actually draft somebody at 25. I don't know if they're going to play. Maybe they're a trade piece. Aiden Sheridan. Darion Reed actually appears to be a 73 overall. If that's accurate, I'm going to trust our scouting department, but if that's accurate, that's pretty good value there. He's a 72. Not the end of the world. All right, Luka is going to decline. He is my biggest priority right now. That comes with, no doubt. It's just pretty obvious. So let's just do this. Let's give him a max contract, 5 years, player option, no trade clause, and I do want to bring back Mr. Washington as well. So, are you fucking kidding me? Oh shit, sorry. That's bad. Oh, come on. Oh, cut me a fucking break. 2K, I can't do this right now. I cannot do this right now. Are you kidding me? Luka goes to the fucking Jazz, and that's less than what I even offered him. This game hates me. This game legitimately effing hates me. Well, I will give it a go. It's not going to be a great third season. I'm not just going to end the video because things got a little tough, and little tough would be an understatement. But yeah, we're going to put Kyrie Irving in the driver's seat as our #1 option right now. It is probably not going to be a great season, if I'm being completely honest with you. What I might try to do right now is, what I might actually do? I might try to upgrade our power forward spot. I think that might be a pretty good idea. And then, do we have any better bet? No, there's really nothing else here. All right, 1 second. Very much aware we just got Jonathan Isaac, but as we head into the third and final season, I want to be as good as I can at every single position. So that is way too much to give up there for, a nice upgrade, but not a crazy upgrade. It's just going to move Washington to the bench. And we made moves where we kind of could, right? We lost, maybe one of the best players in the world, obviously back-to-back MVP, just won a Finals MVP for us. That would be, I don't want to say it's more snaky than Kevin Durant, because KD obviously departed for the team that beat him, but yeah, that would be pretty bad. If the guy won back-to-back MVPs, just led the team to a championship, won a Finals MVP, and then goes to fucking Utah, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed if I was a Maverick fan right now. So yeah, Kyrie's going to be at the helm. Again, it's not going to be a crazy, successful final regular season, but I'm going to give it my best shot. All things considered, it certainly could be worse. We lose the back-to-back MVP, obviously the superstar, the face of this franchise, and I'm sad about it. I have no idea why the guy left to go to fucking Utah. Your guess is as good as mine. But we obviously have to adjust, we have to adapt, and that is exactly what we did. And yeah, Keontae George going to be the Luka Doncic replacement. Still got Kyrie Irving, Lowry Markkanen, Aaron Gordon, new addition here, and still got Derek Lively. Bench unit will now be led by Quentin Grimes. PJ Washington slides into a seventh-man role. Jaden Hardy, Vince Williams Jr., and Kevon Looney. If this team somehow wins a championship, I will be pretty much lost for words, to say it nicely. So, obviously, we're the defending champs, and it's going to be a very interesting third and final regular season. 55-27. I will take it. I'm not sure if it's the 1 seed. We are probably not even close to the favorite, but I will take it considering the shit we've had to endure so far. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's your MVP. Cameron Boozer, Nolan Traore, Victor Wembanyama, Nolan Traore once again, Cooper Flagg, and Mark Daigneault. You should give it to Jason Kidd for leading this team to 55 wins. So we are clearly not the 1 seed here in the West. We actually are the 2 seed, though. And how's Utah, pal? How is fucking Utah? Oh, like why? What would make somebody want to depart, a championship team for this? No shot at the Jazz, but come on, dude. Okay, let's go over some numbers real quick. Points per game led by Kyrie. Keontae George really stepping up into a bigger role. Excited to see that. Markkanen, Hardy, Lively, you guys, you can see. Rebounds per game led by Lively, and assists was Keontae George. So we are facing, it is going to be us and the Minnesota Timberwolves. God damn it. All right, we might lose this series. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay, good start for us. Oh, wow. Really? Okay, maybe 2K really does like Dallas a lot. All right, us in Houston here. D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Green. Oh, my God. Okay, they're pretty good. There's no denying that, but I'm not really sure. Really? What is going on? In the 8-seeded Spurs? Oh, my God. Are we getting like an all-time, I don't want to say fluky run, but like lucky run? Okay, maybe not. We end up getting bounced by an 8 seed and 5, and it is San Antonio and Brooklyn, and the Brooklyn Nets led by, what is this rebuild? Your guess is as good as mine. All right, well, this one was one of my more interesting rebuilds so far. I don't really lose superstars intentionally very often. I mean, it certainly happened to me in the past, but, see Luka Doncic walk out the door for nothing, that was a surprise, because it wasn't like we were bad or really having just shitty seasons and he was kind of just, there. He was leading us to championships, and he won a finals MVP and then just said, fuck you all. So, yeah, sad. I think we could have won another one, but Luka had other plans. So, yeah, man, that is it for me. This one was fun, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it as much as you could. Let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comments section. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.